Good morning. This is Muhammad Sulaiman, Assistant Professor of Commerce, working at MBS Government Degree College, Autonomous, Mahbub Nagar. Today, let us learn about resolutions. Resolutions form an important aspect in the management of a company. As all of us know, that company is an artificial entity created in the eyes of law and cannot act on its own. Therefore, the board of directors who are the representatives of the shareholders will participate in the management of the company and take some decisions. Therefore, the decisions taken by the board of directors are recorded in the form of resolutions in a company as they are put in agenda as an agenda item and passed by the members at the meeting and finally recorded in the form of resolutions. Therefore, resolutions are an important item in the management of the company, which are beneficial to the company and beneficial to the shareholders also. So, let us learn about resolutions today. So, the objectives of the lesson are we'll be learning about resolutions introduction and we'll be seeing about the definition of the term resolution. Then we will be learning about various kinds of resolutions and we'll be learning about ordinary resolutions and we'll be learning about special resolutions and we'll learn about resolutions requiring a special notice and we'll learn about resolution by postal ballot and at the end we'll learn about the minutes of the meeting. What are the minutes of the meeting and how the minutes of the meeting are recorded. So let us see all these topics one by one. So as already mentioned, the decisions of the company are taken through resolutions in the meetings of shareholders and their elected representatives, that is directors. As all of us know that every company will have a large number of shareholders and it may not be possible for all the shareholders to come and attend the meeting and take active part in the decision making of the company management process. Therefore, the shareholders at the annual general meeting or whenever necessary will appoint their or will elect their representatives, that is directors, who will actually attend the office and take decisions on behalf of the shareholders which are beneficial to the company. That is, the directors take active part in the management of the company and the decisions taken by the board of directors will be binding on all the shareholders as they are elected representatives of the shareholders. Therefore, whenever a meeting is called for, whenever a meeting is called for, the directors or the board of directors will attend the meeting and will discuss regarding the various items that are listed in the agenda and take the decisions and take the decisions regarding various agenda items and record those decisions in the form of resolutions and the resolutions are recorded in the form of the minutes of the meeting. Therefore, resolutions are important in the management of the company affairs. Therefore, let us see the definition of the term resolutions. So, the term resolution may be defined as a formal decision of a meeting on any motion before it. So it is nothing but it is a formal decision. It is a formal decision of a meeting taken on any issue or taken on any agenda. So when a resolution is to be taken, it has to be put in the form of a proposal first. So a proposal when passed and accepted by the members becomes resolution. So before making it as a resolution, there may be discussion, there may be debate, or there may be some suggestions or some submissions regarding the proposal put forth by the members, and after the final acceptance of all the members, a proposal becomes a resolution. The Companies Act and Articles of Association of a company lay down the type of the resolution required for taking decisions. It is applicable to every particular matter. So, what type of resolutions are to be passed for taking one particular decision? Because every company may have its own way of taking decisions, and the articles of association, which is adapted by the company, will guide the different types of resolutions that are required for taking decisions. So, for some decisions, only ordinary resolution may be required, and for some decisions, some special resolution may be required. Hence, in order to say that one resolution is passed, the Companies Act and Articles of Association of a company guide together for passing resolutions in the management of the company. In order to learn regarding the new Companies Act 2013, so under the new Companies Act 2013, the votes casted electronically shall be counted, determining whether ordinary or special resolution has been passed. So earlier, no such provision existed in the previous Companies Act. So therefore, this is a new development in the Companies Act. And however, under special circumstances or conditions as per the Act, a special notice of required number of days, say for example 21 days or 14 days, to the company is essential for the matters to be passed either by an ordinary resolution or by special resolution. Therefore, we have to follow the procedure laid down as per the Companies Act and the special conditions. So, this is regarding the definition of the term resolution. So, now let us move further and see the different kinds of resolutions. So, different kinds of resolutions are classified according to the nature of decision that has been taken in a company, but this is a broad classification that we have listed here. So, one is ordinary resolutions, and one is special resolutions, and the another one is resolutions requiring a special notice, and fourth one is a resolution by postal ballot. So ordinary resolutions are dealt according to section 114 of 1 of the Companies Act, and special resolutions are taken by following the provisions of section 114 of 2 of the Companies Act, and resolution requiring a special notice are taken in accordance with the provisions of section 115 of the Companies Act, and the resolutions passed through postal ballot are taken according to the section 110A of the Companies Act. So therefore, for every type of resolution, a separate section is mentioned in the Companies Act, and the company taking such a passing such resolutions have to follow the provisions of various sections that are mentioned here. So on a total basis, we can understand that resolutions are various kinds, namely ordinary resolutions, special resolutions, resolutions requiring a special notice, and resolution by postal ballot. So let us learn regarding these resolutions one by one in a quick manner. So first of all, let us learn about ordinary resolution. So ordinary resolution is nothing but a resolution passed at a general meeting by a simple majority of members entitled to vote. So the simple majority of members that are they are entitled to vote in, and the resolutions passed at such a general meeting is called an ordinary resolution. So simple majority can be understood as the votes cast either by show of hands or electronically or on a poll in favor of a particular proposal, in favor of a particular proposal that is put forth, including the casting of vote of the chairman exceeds the votes cast against it. So for any proposal there may be two types of votings, that is votes in favor of that proposal and votes against that proposal. So votes in favor of the proposal should be more than the votes cast against the proposal. Thus, it may be understood that voting for and voting against must be counted. So both the types of votes must be counted, and in case of any votes that are neutral, there may be some votes which may give no opinion or a neutral opinion. So such votes are to be ignored because they do not fall under the category of for or against. Therefore, after ignoring such votes, when the votes cast in favor of the proposal are more, then we can understand that the proposal is passed and the resolution is passed. So the votes may be cast either by the members or by the proxy if proxy is permitted. If proxy is allowed, then proxy may also be participating in the voting and he may vote. So an ordinary resolution is sufficient to effect any transaction which is within the powers of the company and is not required either by the articles of company or the companies act to be effected in some or the other manner. So in such a case the ordinary resolution can be passed, and all resolutions which are not special may be called as ordinary resolutions. So in simple terms, put it in other words, so all resolutions which are not special and which do not require a special notice can be called as ordinary resolutions. So normally ordinary resolutions are not required to be filed with the registrar of companies. So however, the rule of sending the notice is applicable to this type of resolutions also. That is, a notice of 21 days is, however, required for passing an ordinary resolution. So the notice of 21 days can be given in the form of full 21 days by ignoring the day of meeting and the day of posting or sending the emails. So if it is a notice by post, at least 2 days time shall be given in addition for the purpose of dispatch of the post or the postal notice to the addressee. Or if it is a publication of a notice in the newspaper, the day of publication in the newspaper itself is counted as the day of giving the notice. Therefore, a resolution passed at a general meeting by a simple majority of members entitled to vote is called a ordinary resolution, and ordinary resolutions are not required to be filed with the registrar of companies, and however the notice of 21 days is required for passing an ordinary resolution. So these are the provisions regarding ordinary resolution, and there are some important items which can be discussed in business while passing an ordinary resolution. So this list is not exhaustive. Still, there are some more items which can be covered under the business items of a company which can be transacted in the ordinary resolutions. The first and foremost item that is important in case of ordinary resolutions is approval of statutory report. So as all of us know that every company will provide a statutory report, and for the purpose of approving that statutory report, an ordinary resolution can be passed by a company and the statutory report can be approved. Then we have one more kind of item of business of a company that can be transacted with ordinary resolution is adoption of director's report, balance sheet, and profit and loss account, and auditor's report on the accounts. So this is also an important item. So adoption of director's report. Directors will provide their report in the form of their opinions and the experiences that have been faced in the particular financial year. The annual report of a company will provide the details regarding the business transacted in one particular year and the various decisions or the important decisions that have been taken in a company for the purpose of betterment of the company, and taking various decisions will be mentioned in the form of directors report, and directors will show the performance of the company, that is 5 years at a glance or 10 years at a glance, or the various landmark decisions that have been taken in one particular financial year, and all these things will be included in the director's report. Therefore, adoption of director's report can be transacted in the ordinary resolutions, and the balance sheet and profit and loss account of the company can also be discussed by taking the can also be approved by taking an ordinary resolution. So balance sheet of the company will show the financial position of a company in one particular year, wherein it will show the position of various assets and liabilities and the balances. A comparison of year on year can be made with the comparison of previous year, and a comparison of 5 years at a glance can also be made in the balance sheet items given. And one more item that is shown here is the profit and loss that has been made in one particular financial year by the company. So if profit is earned, what is the profit and what is the amount of tax that has been paid, and what is the profit after tax, and what is the amount available to equity shareholders, and the earning per share and dividend per share if announced will also be mentioned here. And at the end of this report, the auditor's report on the account will also be given. So an auditor is a person who will give his independent opinion regarding the various financial values that have been recorded in the balance sheet and profit and loss account of a company, and he will give the opinion regarding the treatment of various items that have been done in the company and recording of those items in the balance sheet and profit and loss account of the company. Therefore, the auditor's report on the accounts of the company is also one of the important items that can be passed through an ordinary resolution by the company. Therefore, one of the important issue business item that can be passed through ordinary resolutions is the director's report, the balance sheet and profit and loss account, and the auditor's report on the accounts of the company. Then one more important business item of business that can be passed through an ordinary resolution is election of directors. So in the process of election of directors, the ordinary resolution is enough for appointing the director. So before appointing the director, the minimum qualifications that are supposed to be possessed by an individual will be observed, and the disqualifications, if any, the person has will be observed, and the election of directors will be made as per the provisions of the Companies Act. Therefore, for appointment of for election of a director, the ordinary resolution is enough. So one more important business of item of business in a company which can be transacted through ordinary resolution is declaration of dividend. So as all of us know that dividend is nothing but the portion of profit that has been announced or that is given to a shareholder out of the total amount of profits earned. So if we go back to profits, so we can see the amount available to equity shareholders is ready, which is called the earning per share. So of a company. So if earning per share of a company is rupees 10, it is at the decision of the company which can announce the uh, dividend either full, that is 100% as a 10 rupees, or it may retain some amount of the profit earned for the purpose of reinvestment activity that is being taken in the company. So if such a retention is done out of the profits, it is called retention rate or retention ratio. So few companies follow the retention practice for the purpose of reinvestment of the profits earned. For example, if a company adopts a policy of payout of a dividend 50% and a retention of 50%, then in the example that we have taken here is 10 rupees of earning per share will be divided as 5 rupees as a retention ratio and 5 rupees in the form of the dividend. So for such a declaration of dividend also ordinary resolution passed by the company is enough. Therefore, declaration of dividend decision is also possible by taking one ordinary resolution. And one more item that can be passed through ordinary resolution is appointment of auditors and fixing their remuneration. So before appointing the auditor and fixing their remuneration, the board will observe at the annual general meeting the qualifications of an auditor and his performance and how is the track record of that particular auditor before joining or before filing an application to be appointed as auditor in the present company. Therefore, appointment of auditors is also possible through an ordinary resolution in the company, and the remuneration that is to be paid to an auditor either in the form of a percentage or either in the form of some lump sum amount can also be fixed by passing an ordinary resolution. So one more important decision that can be taken in an ordinary resolution is removal of a director of a company before the expiry of his tenure. Say, for example, if a director is appointed for 3 years tenure, so if the director is to be removed from his office before the completion of his tenure, that is 3 years, an ordinary resolution is required. But however, this requires a special notice of at least 14 days to the company regarding the removal of the director and the reasons thereon. So therefore, a removal of a director before the expiry of his tenure or before the expiry of his office term is also one of the important items that is passed in ordinary resolutions. So apart from this, there are some more important business items that can be passed through ordinary resolutions. That is appointment of another director in place of one removed director. Say for example, if Mr. X is removed from the office of the director, so if a new person is to be appointed, let us say Mr. Z is to be appointed in the place of Mr. X, then in this case an ordinary resolution can be passed for the purpose of appointment of Mr. Z as a new director in the place of the removed director, that is Mr. X. So therefore, one more important item that can be passed in the form of ordinary resolutions is alterations in the share capital of the company, such as increase in the share capital or consolidation of share capital and so on. So, because the share capital is nothing but the amount contributed or pooled by various shareholders of the company, which is required for the purpose of starting, continuing the business or carrying on the business. Therefore, in case of alteration of such share capital, ordinary resolution is required. So when a company wants to increase its share capital, an ordinary resolution is required. And when a company wants to do some changes in the share capital, that is consolidation form of alterations also, an ordinary resolution is required. Therefore, alterations of share capital such as increase and modifications or consolidation requires an ordinary resolution. So apart from this, there are some more decisions which can be approved through ordinary resolutions, that is issue of shares at a discount. So in some situations it is possible that a company may opt for issue of shares at a discount. So there can be three type of situations wherein shares are issued by a company, that is issue of shares at par, that is at face value, and issue of shares at a premium, that is some more value than the face value, or the issue of shares at discount. So sometimes it is possible that a few companies opt for issue of shares at discount. When company opt for issue of shares at a discount, it has to pass an ordinary resolution because the shares are issued less than the face value. For example, a share having a face value of 100 rupees is issued at 5% discount, then the amount to be collected here will be only 95 rupees, as 5 rupees discount is given on every particular share. Therefore, for such decisions, an ordinary resolution is to be passed for issue of shares at a discount. And for some other reasons, like sale of a part of company's undertaking or business, or a sale of the total subsidiary or one type of business that is owned by a company, also requires an ordinary resolution. Therefore, like this, there are many important items that require an ordinary resolution by a company to be passed and approved before it is implemented. So this is regarding the ordinary resolution that can be taken in a company. So let us move on and see regarding the special resolution. So what is a special resolution, and how a special resolution can be passed in a company. So the name itself mentions that it is a special resolution. So a resolution is called a special resolution when a notice of a special resolution is given with the particular intention as to why the special resolution notice is given, which is required to pass a special resolution, and the notice shall be given at least 21 days before the passing of the special resolution. So again, I repeat here, the 21 days clause is applicable as a full 21 days, excluding the day of passing the resolution and excluding the days of the period of postage or the transit or any other thing. So the notice is to be given before 21 days at least. So the 21 days clause is applicable here. So the giving of notice before 21 days is highly essential because it is a requirement as per the Companies Act to give the notice before 21 days and to give proper time to the members to attend the meeting and vote against the given proposal for which a special resolution is to be passed. Therefore, a resolution is called a special resolution when it is a resolution given with a notice of special resolution, and the notice is given before 21 days, and the votes in favor of a special resolution are not less than 3 times of the number of votes. So put it in the other way, it can be understood as the votes cast in favor of the resolution by the members entitled to vote. By the members entitled to vote, either in person or by proxy. So both provisions are applicable. So a member can attend personally and vote regarding his opinion, or he may nominate a person uh, called proxy in his place who will vote for the resolution. Therefore, the votes cast in favor of the resolution by members entitled to vote either in person or by proxy are not less than three times of the number of votes, or not less than three times of the number of votes. So, if any cast against the resolution. So, whenever there is a voting, there may be two types of votes that are being cast. One is in favor of resolution, and another is in against the resolution. Therefore, the votes may be cast either by a show of hands or by a poll. So both cases are accepted. So show of hand can be counted as to how many people are uh, favoring the special resolution. So there is no question of casting vote in case of a special resolution. So casting vote may be a matter of importance in case of ordinary resolutions, but in case of special resolution, there is no question of a casting vote. So casting vote is not accepted in case of a special resolution. So a copy of every special resolution together with a copy of explanatory statement within 30 days of passing the resolution is required to be filed with the registrar who shall record the same. So unlike the ordinary resolution wherein it was not required to submit or file the ordinary resolution with the registrar of companies, but in case of a special resolution, so a copy of every special resolution together with the copy of explanatory statement is to be submitted and filed with the registrar of companies within 30 days of passing such a special resolution. So here we have to understand that the main aim of passing a special resolution is to ensure that every important change shall be made only after due deliberations and with the sanction of the greater body of shareholders. So this is the main reason for passing a special resolution, because big changes or important changes shall be made only after proper discussions and deliberations. So it is not an ordinary matter which can be passed just like that and can be recorded. So it is not like that. It is unlike the ordinary resolution, because it is an important change that is going to come. Therefore, the sanction of the greater body of shareholders is required. So the articles of association may provide that certain types of businesses shall be approved by a special resolution only. So in such a case, ordinary resolutions will not work. So only special resolutions can be passed, and the matter can be put in agenda or a proposal can be discussed, and after long deliberations, the proposal can be passed and it can be made as a special resolution. And in some cases, the Companies Act also provides that certain decisions can be taken only by a special resolution only, but not for ordinary resolutions. Therefore, in order to make important changes, only special resolution is approved and ordinary resolution is not accepted. So now let us move on and see as to what type of activities, or as to what type of decisions some special resolution is required. So special resolutions are required for many things, but a few important items have been listed here. That is one, to create reserve capital. So this is an important change that is going to come in the capital structure of a company because creation of reserve capital will have impact on the uh, capital structure and the shareholders funds. Therefore, in order to create the reserve capital, a special resolution is required. Ordinary resolution will not suffice. And one more decision is to reduce the share capital of the company. So this is an important decision that is to be taken in a company. Most of the companies opt for reducing the share capital in case of reconstruction of the company. So in order to reduce the share capital of the company also, a special resolution that is approved by a large number of members, that is shareholders, is required to reduce the share capital as it will affect their shareholdings and the net worth. Therefore, to reduce the share capital of the company also, a special resolution is required. And one more activity or one more decision that requires a special resolution is to authorize the payment of interest out of capital. So this is an important decision wherein the interest is proposed to be paid out of the capital amount. So in normal circumstances, interest is paid out of the earnings or revenues that have been generated in one particular financial year by a company. But in order to authorize the payment of interest out of capital, which is a special case, some special resolution is required. And one more decision that requires a special resolution is to alter the articles of the company. So this is most important because in order to make some alterations to the articles of the company, some special resolution is required to alter the articles of the company. And one more requirement that can be done to change the name of the company. So because changing the name of the company will totally or partially will modify the existing name of the company. Therefore, to change the name of the company also, an ordinary resolution will not suffice. Therefore, a special resolution is required, which will help to approve the change of the name of the company. Then one more decision that is taken only through special resolution is to alter the provisions of the memorandum. So this is also important because the provisions of a memorandum will clearly specify various clauses. So therefore, to alter the provisions of memorandum of a company also, a special resolution is required. So in addition to these, there are many situations where special resolutions are required in a company to take some special decisions. So like to authorize the payment of interest of capital and on, and to take some important decisions to create reserve capital and so on. Therefore, the special resolutions are required for special circumstances which demand some approval of a large number of shareholders. Now let us see regarding the resolutions requiring a special notice. So resolutions requiring a special notice is also an important item that falls under the resolutions of a company. So the resolutions requiring a special notice are dealt according to the provisions of Section 115 of the Companies Act, wherein the special notice is required in the cases where a resolution requiring a special notice are taken. So these type of resolutions are most important because it has a bearing on the various decisions that have been taken in a company. For example, appointment of an auditor other than a retiring auditor. So normally an auditor is appointed at the annual general meeting. Upon the retirement of an auditor, a new auditor is appointed. But in special cases where the existing auditor is to be appointed, is to be changed, and appointment of an auditor other than a retiring auditor is to be taken, so it requires a special notice and special notice can be given for the purpose of taking some resolution for appointment of an auditor. And one more decision that can be taken here is express a resolution that the retiring auditor shall not be reappointed. So in some cases it may happen that majority of the people may not show interest in the reappointment of the retiring auditor of the company due to various reasons which may be particular to the company, or which may be regarding the performance of the auditor, or regarding any other thing. So for that purpose, the resolution, express resolution that the retiring auditor shall not be reappointed, and a new auditor can be appointed in his place. So for that purpose also, a resolution requiring a special notice is to be followed. And in some cases, removal of a director before the expiry of his term. So in normal circumstances, directors are changed after the, or directors are elected after the expiry of their office tenure, that is 3 years or 2 years. So in this case, where a resolution requiring a special notice is passed for removal of a director before the expiry of his term. So in normal circumstances this will not happen, but through a special notice, this resolution can be passed for removal of a director before expiry of his term. And one more condition that can be passed through a special notice is appointment of another person as director in place of the removed director. So when a director is removed, the position becomes vacant. So in such a case, the vacant position can be filled or can be appointed by another person in his place of the director removed. And sometimes it may happen that appointment as director of a person other than the retiring director as per the section 160. So therefore, in order to take some special decisions, the articles of a company may provide for additional matters in which a special notice is required. Therefore, resolutions requiring a special notice can be passed by giving a special notice in a few cases that have been explained earlier. So the notice of intention is to move the resolution which is a special shall be given by the company, that is not less than 14 days before. 14 days before the actual meeting is scheduled. So the 14 days shall be given as a 14 full days, excluding the date of meeting and excluding the date of postage or transit. Therefore, the meeting once convened after 14 days will take the resolution regarding the items that have been listed out here. So therefore, resolutions requiring a special notice are taken up when some special developments or new developments are taking place in the company. So one more resolution could be resolution through postal ballot of a company. So in order to ensure that a lot of shareholders take active part in the decision making of the company, this concept is introduced. So a shareholder can take part in decision making of the company by postal ballot. So a listed company, if it desires, may get any resolution passed by means of a postal ballot. So by means of a postal ballot also, the problem of poor attendance at the general meetings can be overcome, and the meetings are normally attended by the persons who are interested or who are the promoters and their friends and associates who have a lot of interest in attending the meetings. So with this concept, that is a resolution by postal ballot, this problem can be overcome, and a notice of resolution by postal ballot can be given through a registered post acknowledgement due, or through certificate of posting it may be given, or it may be given with an advertisement that is published in the newspapers, that is a leading English newspaper can be chosen, and one local newspaper can also be chosen which is circulated in one particular state and which has situated in the registered office about having the notice regarding the use of ballot papers. So resolution taken by the postal ballot is also an important resolution that is taken in a particular company. So now let us see regarding the minutes of the meeting. So the term minutes means the official record of the meetings of a company, which is recorded in the form of the summary of business transacted and the various decisions taken and the resolutions arrived at the meeting. So, in other words, minutes can be called as a precise but not a narrative one. So, therefore, every company is required to keep minutes of the proceedings of every important meeting that is being conducted in the company. For example, every general meeting, every meeting of board of directors, and every meeting of committee of board of directors of the company, and every resolution passed by postal ballot. Therefore, every company is required to keep minutes of the proceedings of all these types of meetings, that is general meeting, meeting of board of directors, meeting of committee of board of directors, and every resolution passed by postal ballot. So, which will complete the process of recording the minutes of a meeting in a company. Thank you.